Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath Adawadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. All right, Wednesday afternoon camp today. Gonna go ahead and get into it here. And we're gonna start off with the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. It's gonna be the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, starting at verse 1. And this was the time of Belshazzar, who was the king of Babylon at that time. It says, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matter. 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And the great sea is talking about the Mediterranean Sea. And the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. Okay, and I'm going to show you my poster board here. If you can see it, there's these four great beasts. Let me put the camera out a little bit more. All right, so the four great beasts: the lion, a bear, and a leopard with multiple heads, and a terrifying beast as well. And we're going to go ahead and get into that. Okay. All right, pull this back a little bit. Push this back. Okay, so verse 3, it says, the four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. Verse 4, the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. Okay, and that was talking about the Assyrian Empire. Okay. Next is, okay, now we're gonna go to, it says, I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and then and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. A man's heart was given to it, and that's the Babylonian Empire. Okay. Verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear. It raised up itself on one side and had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Okay, and that's talking about the Medo-Persian Empire. Okay, and when I'm talking about the 3 ribs in its mouth, that's talking about the nations that it. That's talking about the nations that it conquered, because it came from the east, so it conquered therefore from the north, south, and west conquered from the east, going to north, south, and west. Salakia. And it raises up on one side. Okay, the Medes were the Medo-Persian. Okay, when it said raise itself up on one side was higher than the other, because the Persians were exalted more than the Medes. They were stronger. They had more. They were exalted more than the Medes. Okay. They were a stronger empire. They had more. They conquered more. Verse 6, and it says, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had Salakia. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. And that's talking about the Greeks. That's the Greek Empire. Okay? In fact, we're going to go ahead and get that real quick in the book of 1 Maccabees. This is going to be the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, starting at verse 1. And it says, "And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetam, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece." Okay. Verse 2, "And made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth." Verse 3, "And went through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up." Verse 4, "And he gathered a mighty strong host, and ruled over countries and nations, kings, and became tributaries, and kings who became tributaries unto him." In verse 5, "After these things he fell sick, and perceived that he should die." Verse 6, "Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive." Verse 7, "So Alexander his son reigned 12 years and then died." Okay, so they say that civilization started with the Greeks, but that was mainly for the Edomites. That was their first rise to power. And it started with Philip, the Macedonian, who conquered much of the known world throughout that time in the East. And then when the time came when he had all those other nations under him, and like I said, when it came his time to die, his son took his place. And Alexander reigned 12 years and then passed. Verse 8, "And his servants bare rule every one in his place. And after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth." And after Alexander had passed, he had 4 generals. Lysimachus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. Okay, they were known as in the Greek the Diadochi, which means the successors, and each one ruled over a certain part after Alexander's passing. In verse 10, "And there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king." This is talking about Antiochus the Fourth, who was the son of Antiochus the Third, the king who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks. "And in those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen." And this was all during the Hellenistic period. And that's why you have and that's where a lot of people get mixed up when they say neither Jew nor Greek, roughly paraphrasing that those Greeks, those Gentile Greeks, those were Israelite foreigners, those were Greek-speaking Jews. And it says here, verse 11, "In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow." Verse 12, "So this device pleased them well." Verse 13, "Then certain of the people were so forward herein, that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen." Okay, so those many wicked men of Israel, that's the 2/3. Okay, they choose to dwell amongst the heathen and learn their ways. And in the book of Jeremiah, the 10th chapter, it tells us to learn not the ways of the heathen. Okay. Okay. Verse 14, and it says, "Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen." And in verse 15 it says, "And made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief." Okay. So, you know, like I said, during the Hellenistic time, and during the time when Greek was in power, you know, that's when, you know, our people, you know, became Hellenized. You know, they they took it upon themselves to indulge and learn the ways of and the customs and courtesies of the Greeks, who were those Edomites at the time. Okay, and like I said, there was Lysimachus, Cassander, Ptolemy, and Seleucus, and like I said, they all ruled their certain parts of the world, and that's a lesson for another time that I will go into. But so yes, this was during the time of the Maccabees, the Hellenization period of the Greeks being in power. All right, now we're going to go back to the 7th chapter in the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. And it says, "After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong and exceedingly. It had great iron teeth, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns." Okay, so this fourth beast was talking about the Roman Empire. So when it says that it had great iron teeth, it had a very strong military, a strong army. And if you really think about it, sure. Okay, so first was Babylon, that was gold. The Medo-Persian was silver. Greeks was bronze. And then the fourth was iron. You know, iron may not have the level of value like the others before it, but iron is stronger. Iron is stronger than gold, silver, and bronze. Okay? And it conquered, you know, after it annexed Greece. And when you look up annex, the word annexation, that means to seize or to take over. And it devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And right here, again with the my postboard here, and the 10 horns right here represent the common market of the European Economic Community, the EEC, or more, which was established in 1958, but now it's more commonly known as the EU, or the European Union. And the 10 horns are Belgium, Denmark. I know it's kind of hard for me to find out, but it's all right here. Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Greece, Spain and Portugal, England and Ireland, and West Germany. Okay, those are the 10 horns. Okay. Okay, now verse 8, it said, "I consider the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots." Okay, now the 3 horns that were plucked up by the roots, that's talking about how when America, that's talking about the 3 wars. That's talking about the Spanish-American War, the French Indian War, and the Revolutionary War with Britain. And America won its independence in the year of 1776, I believe. Okay? And it says, "And behold, in this horn were like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things." And what other place would do such things, to speak great things, full of pride, full of pride and abominable acts? You know, that's America here. All right. Bring the postboard again. I can see right here. America. Slovakia. Let me fix the camera angle a little bit here so you can see it better. All right, there we go. Should be better. All right, should be a lot easier for you to see it. But you see this Edomite woman right here sitting on top of this red beast here, and these 7 heads here. Okay, the beast with the 7 heads and the 10 horns is NATO, which the 7 heads are the 7 governments or kingdoms ruled by Esau, and they are Germania Major, Rome, France, Spain, Germania Minor, and British, or Great Britain, and the Greeks. And the whore that sits on top of this beast, that's America. The mother of harlots, Babylon. All right. In fact, let me get the script here. It's going to be the book of Revelations. Actually, before I get there, let me get Malachi. It's going to be Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Excuse me. Malachi 1 and 4. Okay, so it says here. Actually, I'm going to start from the top. Malachi 1 and 1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord of Israel by Malachi. Verse 2, I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob. Verse 3, and it says, and I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4, it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. Okay? So, Esau, Edom, you know, after the Roman Empire fell, you know, that's when Jake began to rule all of Europe for 1,000 years. Okay? So after the pagan Roman Empire, which was ruled by Edomites, then it became the Holy Roman Empire, ruled by the Israelites. But the thing is that with Jake, he was still holding on to the Roman philosophy and the customs of the previous pagan Roman Empire. And then when Constantine came along, that's when they started bringing in the Christianity ideals, the Christianity doctrine. But it was more of a, but you know, they were, you know, but Jake wanted to hold on to those Roman ideals and got it mixed up. So because of that, you know, that's still going off. You know, we weren't following the law, statutes, and commandments like we were supposed to. And so the thing is, I saw a video on this from Elder Apostle Ramlab. He explained it about how about Daniel the 7th chapter, how, you know, Jake was how, you know, Constantine brought forth that Christian those Christian ideals, and, you know, Jake mixed it with the Roman philosophies. And then, you know, during that time, Esau Edom was driven into the mountains, the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, and that's where they were plotting to make their return. And, you know, they came back into power during the Renaissance period, which was, I think it was during the 1400s, the early 1400s. And, you know, that's when They came back and started taking over everything again. Slovakia. Okay, I'm gonna get a Revelation. It's gonna be Revelation 17:1. This is Revelation 17:1, and it says, And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Okay? And that great whore is America, because America, just like the Roman Empire before it, we have control and enforce our philosophies on all these other different nations. We have multiple military bases and installations in all these other countries, as well as these embassies. Okay, we're there. We go into another. They send their soldiers into another country, saying that we're here for humanitarian reasons. You're not there to help those people. You're just there to take their resources and to overthrow them and enforce your way of life on them. These countries are starting to realize that they're starting to say, to hell with America. Okay, verse 2, it says, With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Made drunk with the wine of her fornication. The philosophy, that wine is talking about her philosophies. And that fornication is talking about, that spiritual adultery, as well as the physical adultery and idolatry. Babylon has infected the whole world with that abominable wine. Okay, her ways. And verse 3, it says, So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. NATO and the EU. That's the beast. Okay, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Okay? And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon, the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Okay? That's America. All right, I'm going to go to... this is going to be actually, let me get this one here. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 6, and it says, And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushua. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Okay? In fact, let me get a... Yeah, I should have got the script earlier, but it's all through the Spirit. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 14. And it says, And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image of the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Okay? Talking about Rome. Because Rome, at that time, was taken down, and now it's back. It's just revised. It's the same setup, it's just a different time. In fact, that was my next script. Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. It says, The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Okay? So, from back then, all the way up till now, it's just, nothing's new. It's the same thing, it's a repeated cycle. Alright? So, in verse 10, it's, In verse 10, it says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us." So America is no different from what happened in the past. Even though America is the abominable amalgamation, which is the combination of Babylon, the riches and wealth and the power, and said to be the greatest country in the world. Egypt, because, we were subject to payments, and that's part of being in bondage. And the word Egypt means bondage or slavery. 3, Sodom and Gomorrah, because of the Rainbow Troops, or more commonly known as the Alphabet Crew. Yes, so, and 4, let's see, Babylon, Rome, Sodom and Gomorrah, and Egypt. And how is it Rome? Look at the way the law is set up, and you also got a lot of these holidays, as they call them, but they're all pagan customs that were modeled after Roman festivals. So we are living in the revised Roman Empire. Verse 11. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. So, after this is all over, there's not going to be any remembrance of it, because it's all going to be done away with, wasted away, destroyed, gone forever. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is going to be Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. And it says, "Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit." So, better is the end of a thing. Yes, it'd be better as the end of this society than the beginning of it thereof, because, during the time when so-called America was being built up by the slaves, with the white man just beating our people into the dirt by having us do all this, this strenuous labor, that was pure hell. I mean, we're still in the hell. We're still going through it, but the punishment's almost over. Okay? And, Lord willing, that we are a part of that, of the chosen, the elect, that we get to see this bitch burn. Because I'm tired of this place. I'm tired. All right? And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit, which means, okay, the word patient means to suffer, and of course proud meaning prideful. So it's better to be patient and endure the suffering, because you cannot be perfected without affliction. Okay, I'm gonna go to Revelation. Okay, I'm gonna go to 2nd Esdras. This is 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, starting at verse 1. And it says here, it says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And he's visiting the world right now. Because of the event what happened in Turkey with that 7.8 earthquake, you know, the people over there are in an uproar. And the people of Turkey, there was a spokesman I was watching. He said that, you know, he knows what America has done. He knows what they're trying to do. And he said to keep your dirty hands off of Turkey. See? And you see these nations, they're starting to realize that America is the problem. They're starting to realize that America is the big bully on the street corner that just won't mind their damn business. Okay? And these people are tired. All right? And not only that, but there was also an earthquake in the 3.8 earthquake in I think it was I think it was, no, I don't know if it was Texas or New York, I can't remember. But yeah, these earthquakes, man, that are happening, uproars of the people. And it says right here, verse 3, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, verse 4, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. In verse 5, for like as all that is made manifest in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Okay? We are literally, the end is manifesting itself right before our very eyes. Okay? The Bible is a true living book. You cannot beat it. Excuse me. Let's see. All right, so I'm gonna get to Matthew, the book of Matthew. It's gonna be the book of Matthew, chapter 24. I'm gonna start at verse number verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, which we are seeing right now. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Okay? So all these things must happen. You know, uproars of the people, wars, natural disasters. All of this stuff has got to happen. It's part of Bible prophecy. Okay? Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay? Verse 8, all of these are the beginning of sorrows. All right? So, all of this stuff, war, famine, pestilence, natural disasters like earthquakes in diverse places, you know, all these, you know, all this stuff that's going on across the world and all these different countries, you know, this right here is the beginning of sorrows. You see, people are struggling. The Lord is bringing that discomfort, that great discomfort. Okay? Let's see. I'm going to okay. I'm going to drop down to verse 33, and it says, "So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily," verse 34, "verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away." Verse 36, "But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only." So not even Yahweh Shai knows when the end is going to be. Only Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, knows. Because it's his story. He just gave the blueprint of the story over to his son, Yahweh Shai. All right. And it says, verse 37, it says, "But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." Verse 38, "For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until that day that Noah entered into the ark." Okay? So, just like I was back then, during that time before the flood, everybody was in the house of mirth. Everybody was just having a good time, not worried about anything bad happening, completely ignorant to the fact that, something bad was coming. And just like Noah, we got the Lord with us. He's awakened us from that spiritually dead state, and he's given us the secret code to his word. To know what happened back then, what's going on right now, what is to come. That's why we are preparing our spiritual ark, so that way when all hell breaks loose, it's going to be a scary time. A lot of brothers and sisters are going to be scared, but we have this, pursuant to the book of Isaiah 33 and 6, "Thy wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." So the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of these scripts, of the scriptures, is what's going to keep your mind, it's what's going to help you keep your wits about you in that day. All right, let me see. All right, verse 39 says, "And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." So, just like how there was mass death back then during the flood, there's going to be mass death again in this time. And this year, coined by Elder Apostle Tahar of GMS, that this is the year that all prophecies come to pass. So, whether you like it or not, believe it or not, accept it or not, whether you will hear or forbear, prepare for mass death. Okay? Prepare for it, because it's coming. All right? All right, so let me get the book of Ezekiel. This is going to be the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38. Verse number Actually, hold on. Slakia. I meant to get Revelation. Slakia. Revelation 6 and 4. Revelation 6 and 4, and it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat up thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. Okay? And that horse, that red horse, is talking about Esau Edom. Remember, Genesis, the 27th chapter, his blessing was the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. So Esau Edom right now is in power. He has all the resources. He has everything. He has the military. He has the resources. And by the sword shalt thou live. And his sword is the military. He uses the military to conquer. All right. So yeah, that red horse is talking about Esau. Okay. And he's going to take away peace from the earth. In fact, he's been taken away. And I was watching a video from Lisa Haven. She gives out great information. If you haven't subscribed to her, she gives a lot of she goes into great detail about what's going on with the world. She said that sometime, this says something about Biden signed a bill to where, that's that devil coming down with great wrath. He's so prepare yourself for more lockdowns. We're gonna have more and more of our freedom stripped from us. So, yeah, when you get a chance, Lord willing, I do a video on her. I do a lesson on the video that I was watching earlier. But yeah, so there's gonna be more lockdowns, and this time it's gonna be a lot more harsh, where we're pretty much going to be restricted to our own dwelling place, our own households. And that's the devil coming down upon you with great wrath. He's going to do whatever he can to restrain the people. All right. All right. I'm going to go back to what I was going to get, which was Ezekiel. Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, starting at verse 2. In fact, I'll start from the top. It says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him." Okay, so Gog, the land of Magog, that's talking about Russia. Okay. Verse 3, and say, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal." Verse 4, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." Okay. So that's talking about bringing back that Soviet spirit, that excuse me. So Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is bringing back that old Soviet spirit in Russia, bringing them back to that state where they had that power. In fact, you know, you can even do your own research on this. You know, while Russia has been I think it was said that Russia's technology, as of right now, I can't remember how many years they said it's ahead of ours, but they've been really amping up their tech. And you still think, and you know, Russia, you know, like I said, the media lies saying that Russia can't do nothing, but it's a lie. It's really bad over there right now. All right, in verse 5, it says Persia, which is Iran, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Verse 6, Gomer, which is Turkey, and all of his bands, the house of Togarmah, and the north quarters of all his bands, and many people with thee. Verse 7, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Verse 8, and after many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of the Salakia. I meant to stop at 7. Salakia on that one. Oh boy. But yeah, so all these nations, they are all going to side with Russia, and Russia's going to back them up. And their main target is going to be America. Like I said, America is the whore that sitteth upon many waters. And the nations are mad because they're drunken with her philosophy. Okay? Now I'm gonna get the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter. and I'm gonna get, this is when the 2nd chapter 2 verse 32, and this is when Daniel was speaking to King Nebuchadnezzar about his dream. Verse 32, Daniel 2nd chapter 2 verse 32. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, and his belly and his thighs of brass. Verse 33, and his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Okay? And we're at the feet now. And that iron mixed with clay, you know, in fact, it says right here, verse 34, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and brake them into pieces. Let's see, 35, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, and the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. So, okay, so we're at the feet right now, because iron mixed with clay, it means it's both strong and weak, because clay is really weak. It can be broken. And as you can see, NATO and the EU, they're in a state of turmoil right now, against each other, against Russia, and against America. It's chaotic. There's no order. It's out of order. It's a mess. And Germany right now, they're biting the hand that feeds them, because Germany gets its energy and fuel source from Russia, and they're sending their tanks over to Russia, over to Ukraine to battle against Russia. So that see how messed up it is. And you know, and that's the problem. Biden is sending all this money to deal with something that's really shouldn't be any of his business, when he could be using that money to help people here. But he doesn't care about the people here, because war is always in his heart, roughly paraphrasing. That's all Esau Edom thinks about is war. All right, let me get a... This is going to be Revelation, the 18th chapter, starting at verse... this is going to be Revelation 18 and 21, and it says, "And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." Okay? And that great millstone is talking about Yahushai, because he's the one that's going to come back and bring this place down with the heavenly host, the army of angels, the chariots. Okay? Now I'm going to lock it here. I'm going to get let me get the book of 1 Peter here. 1 Peter chapter 2. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 4. And it says, "To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High and precious." That's talking about Yahushai, because when he came on the scene, he was disallowed by men. He was rejected, but chosen of Yahweh and precious. Verse 5, "Ye also as lively stones," talking about the elect, "are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifice acceptable to the Most High by Yahushai HaMashiach." Verse 6, "Wherefore it is contained in the scripture, Behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded." Okay? We, if that believeth on Yahushai, shall not be confounded. Another word for confounded is ashamed. We are not to be ashamed because we believe that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is with us, and that he woke us up and gave us this knowledge, wisdom, understanding to understand what his will is. Okay? Verse 7, "Unto you, therefore, which believe, he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense, even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed." Okay? Talking about the ones that rejected the ones of our people that rejected Yahushai, the 2/3. This word will be a stumbling block unto them and a rock of offense, and also being disobedient, whereunto they were they appointed. They were appointed. So, talking about these other Israelite groups that don't have 100% of the truth, like, well, you all know who. Okay? So, once again, there's nothing new under the sun. Okay? Everything it's a repeating cycle. The 2/3 back then are here again today. And those same Roman Edomites that crucified our Lord, they're back here again today. Okay, so, and just like the flood in the time of Noah, it's going to be a great time of distress and ultimately that lake of fire, which is talking about the thermonuclear fire from the ICBMs. So it's nothing new, okay? It's just that this land needs to be cleansed thoroughly and for good, okay? So I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to those that are new coming in, listening and learning with all sincerity. I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the great millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity, and unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayat Adabadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations, okay? See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abababal, Shalom, Barakatham.